animation. Shocking.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Anime Waffle. Okay, as I said in my last video, I kind of give you an insight into the animes that have been keeping me busy in the past, just a little insight into what I've been watching. It's not everything, it's just the ones that I think are maybe noteworthy at the moment. What I'm going to show you today is the things that have kept me busy in September particularly. There's only 6 at the moment. I thought they were the ones that I would like to share with you, and then I will show you... And then I will share with you the October ones as well, given the fact that it's already October. I'm so sorry it's delayed, but you know how it is. Some of us have jobs, just saying. So anyway, in my last video I talked about this screen here. This is my tier maker with some of the animes that have kind of kept me busy in the past. There's a few that I haven't moved up, such as Inuyashiki, which I'm going to move up there. So Inuyashiki is about a guy called Inuyashiki. I'll not tell you what it's about. I have mentioned it in my fight video because one of the fight scenes in it was absolutely stunning. So head on over to there if you want to know more about Inuyashiki, but it is in my Sugoi level. And I've also got Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress. Now I'm putting it in A and not meh, because I really enjoyed it. It was like, so Kabaneri is a cross, in my opinion, between Attack on Titan meets Demon Slayer meets Snowpiercer. Not as great as any of them, but very much a combination. And it lacked a little bit. Like, it was an easy watch. I like easy watches, as you will gather from my anime lists. But what I found with Kabaneri, it was that it lacked a little bit. Like, some of the fight scenes were incredible, but they were played to the wrong kind of music, in my opinion. It didn't fit all that well, but hey ho, it's in my because I did still enjoy it. I still really enjoyed it. Right, the next list then. Okay, I'm gonna move on to my actual September roundup. Okay, this is actually it. So the first one up is Fire Force. Now again, Fire Force, if we have a look. My original attempt at this was lax, so I struggled to get into it, like really struggled, because it started off just so It just, again, it lacked a little momentum to kind of get into it. It was very much, what am I watching? Am I watching some like Kid Priss stuff? I can't be bothered with this. And I stopped after like the 2nd episode. But I tried again because in September, you know, we're getting into the colder nights, they're getting quite lonely, so decided to give it another go. So we've still got Fire Force down here. So I persevered, and lo and behold, it's actually a tremendous anime. And I'm going to put it in you know, I'm going to put it in Sugoi. It's probably between these two at the moment. Like, it was good. But there was some elements of it that I think actually really, really kind of drew me in. So the fight scenes alone, you know I love a good fight scene, are stunning, crisp visuals and well thought out anime choreography. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. So the series ended on a high with a bucket load of unanswered questions, and we know we love a cliffhanger, we do. And as it kind of delved in a little darker, so we started off with this kind of light-hearted Priss. Like, I genuinely thought that I was watching like a kid's version of a cartoon. Like, don't get me wrong, I know that kids can watch this as well, but I thought that as it started, it was very kind of tame, very PG. But as we went in, it did delve a little darker, and there were elements of it I was like, oh my. So yeah, but it was definitely kind of worthy of a clap for sure. So I am putting Fire Force in Sugoi at the moment. As I say, this list can move, and as I add new anime in, and as I watch like the 2nd seasons of these animes, or 3rd seasons and so on, they might shift. So Fire Force season 2 might let me down, and it might go down, but it also might blow me away and end up in Police Ultra. I just don't know yet. Okay, so my rating for that at the moment is Sugoi. Next on my list is Black Clover. I was always against starting this, as it was a series that kind of blew hot and cold with fans. It's very much the Marmite of the anime realm. Some people love it, other people hate it, can't stand it. And I think it was that kind of mentality that put me off it for a long time. I was like, well, why does everyone hate it so much? I don't want to watch it if everyone hates it. But again, these lonely September nights, I thought, you know, I'm going to give it a go. It looks like my kind of thing. I do love a fantasy shonen, and yeah, this is where we are right now. As I say, it took a while to get into, but I binge watched like the first 5 arcs within like minutes, well, what felt like minutes. I personally love Black Clover because of the ease of it all. It's a really, again, I love easy animes to watch, things that don't really kind of get your brain working. When I come from work, I want to sit down and I want to watch something that just is enjoyable. Okay, I know that there's some people out there who want to like a mind. They want things to mess with their mind and really make them think. But for me, Black Clover wasn't one of those ones. It's very much just came and I just enjoyed it. So I'll not tell you where I'm moving at the moment. So Asta seems to be the protagonist that has everyone's goat, as he tends to shout everything, which does, I'm assume, great on people every now and again. I'm so sorry that I'm just so excited to talk about this, and this is all ad lib, so God help me in what I'm actually saying right now, and I have messed up a few times, so sorry about that. But yeah, Asta for me is quite endearing. He's one of those characters who has a goal and he sticks to it. He hasn't deviated from that goal at all, and I think that in itself is quite motivational, you know, from an anime fan's point of view, in my opinion. Me as an anime fan, that is. The thing I love about Black Clover is the mentality and the goals that they have. They don't falter at all. He actually made me want to go out and do better, like push myself, surpass my limits. I mean, obviously Yami has that motto as well, but it does. It's like, you know what, Asta is a character who's at a major disadvantage. You know, he's a non-magic user in a world where that magic is everything, and that in itself is, you know, a really enduring thing. So for me, I was like, you know what, I keep complaining that I can't do this, that and t'other. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to surpass my limits. Granted, I didn't like run off to the gym or anything, but I thought about it. I did go to the gym today. Does that count? So Black Clover was easy to follow, easy story, likable character. Those fall off the back of the wagon outcast types, you know, which everyone feels at some point in their life. Everyone feels like the outcast, and these guys are the band of outcasts. They are the outcasts within like the big groups of people who are there to kind of save the world, and every single one of them's likable. And then to finish it all off, we had the reincarnation arc. I'm not going to say anything about other than it's fantastic, and I think that is the point of Black Clover that made everyone go, oh, I actually like this. So hopefully all that filler crap kind of can be forgiven just for that reincarnation arc. I mean, damn. But yeah, so if you can get past the kind of shouty, I'm gonna surpass my limits and become Wizard King, I think you'll really enjoy it. And for me, I am going to put Black Clover at Sugoi. Okay, purely because it's one of those easy animes that I really enjoyed. You know, I didn't have to think. I came home and I could just watch Black Clover, and I watched it in dubs. Now, I'm a subs lady myself, you know, that kind of person, but the dubs, I really like Asta's voice actor. I think he has a really good range, that he goes from like the serious to like the comedic to the squeaky, and I really enjoy listening to him as a voice actor. I have watched it in subs as well, but I do actually like this in dubs. And again, coming in from work, all I want to do is just chill, and that's what I did. So yes, Yosh. The next on my list is Outcast Season 1. This is the only one I've watched. Now, the reason that this was in my list is purely from a fight scene that I saw from Season 3. When I was doing my research for my fight scene video, I saw this fight scene and it said Outcast Season 3. And I think it's got a bigger name like Hitori. Blah, 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 blah. And I thought, wow, that looks incredible. Like, very good choreography, well executed animation. And I thought, you know what, if all of the seasons are like this is incredible. However, I started with Season 1 because obviously I want to build up to it. And I was so disappointed. I'm sure, as with many of the things, it might get better. But for me, the first couple of episodes, I was like, oh, what am I watching? Like, where are these incredible fight scenes? Where are the fight scenes? But yeah, so I gave up and pretty quickly. So I've got Outcast here, and I'm going to put dropped. Okay, I'm not even going to put back on me because I just dropped it. I can't be bothered with it. I'm sure maybe in the future I might try it again purely to get to Season 3. I really like that fight scene. but to get there I have to watch season 1, so no. Next on my list is God of High School. Now I talked about God of High School briefly in my top 10 anime fights because that was the inspiration behind that video. God of High School in itself is all about the fights. Okay, we've got mocap there to actually execute real fight scenes in a really, really clean way. I really enjoyed the visuals. I think it's a stunning anime, don't get me wrong. Very, very pretty, but that's it. It's very, very pretty. I actually was frustrated by God of High School because I wanted it to be so good because it looked so good, but it just lacks just something. I think it's the storyline that there is none really. It's very much a case of, visually stunning, bravo, but it let me down on the whole. It's a tournament arc that essentially lasted 5 seconds, and then all these super powered Power Ranger type villains appeared from nowhere, and then everyone everyone fought, my apologies. And then the main character kind of is revealed to be someone else entirely, but at that point, it's like, well, that was obvious. I mean, if a main character in a kind of fighty anime was handed a staff, and they're like, oh my god, he's the... You can guarantee that you could guess that from that. You're like, he's not the... Spoiler. Oh, he is. Oh, okay. Okay. Again, and then like Sephiroth from Final Fantasy VII appeared at the end, and it was just... I feel like it was all over the place a little bit, so... I'm hoping if it gets to season 2, it might pick up on the narrative a little bit. There are a lot of unanswered questions, but it's very much that. They're just unanswered. Like, there's nothing in the series that kind of makes me go, I know exactly what's going on. I haven't a clue what's going on. They were in a tournament, and then that ended, and then all of a sudden, freaking evil people came from the sky, and it was just... hey ho. So, for God of High School, I'm going to put it in meh. I know that's really bad, but I'm putting it there purely because it just didn't have a storyline. It's pretty, but it just doesn't have a storyline. Okay, so next on my list is Tower of God. Okay, so Webtoon is fast becoming a platform for new anime content, and to be fair, that is where most of my time is now taken. So a lot of the anime that I'm watching isn't really... happening as much because I'm reading so much webtoons. I would implore anyone to really give Webtoon a go. It's free for a start, it's a free platform, and there are some amazing series on there, especially the Canvas one. Give that a check out. People are uploading their own content, and I am creating my own as well, so I expect you all to read it when it gets up there. Artwork for me originally put me off because it's a style that I didn't really find particularly attractive, but once you get past that, it would, another good series. Not great in my opinion, but good. Worthy of a watch. So it took a while for me to get into it, but I really love the simplicity of it. And when I say that, I mean the simplicity of the narrative. I'm sure I'll offend a lot of people, and probably the manga writer himself for saying that, but essentially, the bare bones of it, it's a tournament arc. And we have our main character, Ban, who gets thrust into it for whatever reason. He has his goal, and they have to kind of get through the stages to reach the end. It's, it's very simple in that respect. So yeah, tournament style arcs, make some allies with a fun crocodile man. Blue Turtle is my favourite character. Okay, that's not his name, by the way. His name is Kun. But we do love a mysterious character who's cool as hell, and he is. He's another one of these people who kind of dropped in, he became an ally, but he is so mysterious that you're like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen in the future. And he seems, for me, a little bit too eager to help Ban. And for me, that obviously, alarm bells. Why is he wanting to help Ban so much? But obviously, you can go on the webtoon and read that if you want to and find out. Or you can hope that there's going to be a season 2, but we just don't know itself. I find Ban too weepy. He's soft as muck, but I know that, and spoiler thing coming, that with the season's end and how it ended, that this is probably not going to be the case in future episodes. The show itself has quite a good rating on IMDb, but as of yet, there has yet to be a renewal for a second series. and we know that the manhwa himself is taking a hiatus for an undisclosed period of time, so it could be a while before the webtoon itself picks up, and that in itself means that maybe there might not be a season 2. There hasn't been one announced, which would be such a shame because it left it on a really good cliffhanger, and I would like to see how it progresses. And yeah, if there's anything, especially for the females amongst us, if you like Bakugo and Nishinoya, especially the Japanese voice actor, then you are going to like this, because Kun is also voiced by the guy who does Bakugo and Nishinoya in the Japanese sub, that is, not Japanese dub. So yeah, just watch purely for that. So I'm going to put Tower of God in, ooh, it's definitely between these two, I can't quite decide. I'm going to put it in meh at the moment, like meh, good, not fantastic, but I think it's a case of, with the webtoon, there's just so much content that's really difficult to put it into an anime and really condense it down into something that works. That's why I think I'm putting off Noblesse for the moment. Is it Noblesse? Which is the one that everyone's been waiting for, but I just feel like with Tower of God and God of High School and how they've been adapted, I'm not sure yet. I'm just not sure. That's how I want to put it at the moment. And last but not least, for this video, I have got Psycho-Pass. Now, Psycho-Pass for me was on my watch list for a while. The reason that I hadn't watched it is because I didn't really have the platform to watch it. You have to, I had to go through Funimation through Amazon Prime, which in itself was a massive faff. But again, while I was going through a phase of feeling very unmotivated by anime, just because with subtitles it's a lot of work, I did watch the first season in dubs. Sorry. But actually, it worked really well. I think the dubbing for Psycho-Pass season 1 was very, very good. But yeah, it's amazing. Psycho-Pass is amazing. I mean, I'm not going to show you just yet, but it is amazing. Think Minority Report meets Ghost in the Shell. It's, it's got this, great visuals, great character development, and a series that is constantly questioning one's morality. What would you do if you had the power to take someone's life based on an algorithm? I think is how I might say it. Or like, you really don't look at it from an enemy's perspective as such, but rather from the society that they've created that is making these decisions for you, which is, a very stark warning, I think, for like modern society, how in Psycho-Pass we have this kind of overarching voice that's like monitoring your behavior, and if your behavior goes beyond a certain point, you are essentially there's like a tier system almost of the consequences for that. So every time you're particularly stressed out, so your Psycho-Pass goes really high, then you are deemed as like a high risk, and you can either be put into rehab, or essentially if you are a danger to society, you can be executed like on the spot. And that, I think, in itself is a really quite dark moral theme to look at, and I think that's what drew me in quite a lot about this. I do like my easy animes. I like my adventure, I like my shiny, colourful, fighty, but for me, Psycho-Pass, I mean, beautifully animated, beautiful, but also the kind of dark storyline and the tones that are running underneath it, really, really good. So Psycho-Pass is very thought-provoking, tense, and where, whilst you're told who the antagonist is, you can never really know who the villain of the series is. I think it goes between quite a lot, and you're like, was he a bad guy? Maybe that person's a bad guy. Maybe that person, very, very thought-provoking. I mean, if you like detective shows with an aesthetic of like an 80s or 90s style version of what the future is, think like Blade Runner or Fifth Element, then I think you'll really enjoy this. I binge watched the first season with ease, and like I say, I watched it in dubs, and it was really easy to watch, and just like on a night time, just sitting watching, going, you know what, this is really good. However, trying to find the next episodes on Amazon Prime used through Funimation was an absolute bloody nightmare. I would advise that if you're going to watch this, then get the Funimation app and do it through there, because getting the kind of Funimation kind of add-on to Prime, it was something like season 2 was listed as season 3 on like episode 36, and it just, I couldn't quite decide what was happening next. So if you want the confusion, go through Amazon, but if you don't, maybe go through Funimation, because I think this is the issue with some of the animes that I really want to watch. There are multiple platforms. It's like, am I going to watch it on Netflix? Am I going to watch it on Amazon Prime? Am I doing it on Funimation? Am I doing it on Crunchyroll? It's all over the place. So yeah, pick your platform, unless of course it doesn't have what you're looking for, such as Psycho Pass. But yeah, I am going to put Psycho Pass as plus ultra. I really, really enjoyed it. Season 2 did really well in keeping up the kind of momentum of the first one. Although there is a character in the first series that doesn't appear in the second that I'm just a bit like, oh, but he was so good. And I haven't watched season 3 yet. I don't know if there even is a season 3. I think there is, but I haven't got that far yet. So, because I've obviously got quite a lot to watch at the moment anyway. What I'm going to show you on the tier maker is just the ones that I am looking forward to watch. So I've got next to watch. I am currently watching Death Parade, which is really good at the moment. Again, one of those ones where you're like, oh, that's different. I've also got Jujutsu Kaisen, which is brilliant. I love Jujutsu Kaisen. I think the fight scenes are amazing. I think the characters are really likable, and I'm really looking forward to how it's going. It's only a few episodes in at the moment, so if you haven't started it, give it a start. Come on, catch up. It's very, very good. I've also got Akudama Drive. I really want to watch that again for the visuals. When you see trailers, you're like, oh, that looks good. Unless, of course, it's got a high school, in which case you're like, oh, that looks good. Oh, wait, it's not. Akudama Drive, I think, looks really pretty, so that'll be on my list as well. And I've also got Devil as a Part-Timer, just because I think it sounds like something different. The ones I'm going to look at next month include Jujutsu Kaisen, where I am currently with One Piece, because obviously we're in the middle of the Wano arc at the moment, and as I say, it kind of goes between really good episodes where you're like, I enjoyed that, thank God, and then other episodes such as Luffy versus the Sumo Wrestler and Batman, which just grind on me, great on me. I don't know, great on me. Also Burn the Witch. I don't know where it is in my list. Oh my God. It's already in my list. Of course it is. I'm going to be talking about Burn the Witch, which is here. Oh my God, I can't believe I spent that long looking at it. Okay. Burn the Witch. Again, I've talked about that briefly here, but I'd like to go into a little bit more detail in my next video. Also Haikyuu, the next season, so we'll put that in there as well. Obviously it went on hiatus due to the Rona, and it is now back, and to be quite honest, I still love the story. Obviously we've got the manga to read as well, but animation, shocking. Some of it is shocking, so we'll get to discuss that in greater detail, which will be fun. We still recording audio? Yes, we are. And we also have JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm up to Diamond is Unbreakable, so I know I've got the older one there, but we'll talk about Diamond is Unbreakable in the next one as well. So that's what you've got to look forward to. And then obviously any other animes that I want to put into this, because obviously I've got a whole list here. Some of them I've seen, some of them I've not, and obviously for another video then I'll be able to update some of this as well. Okay, things like Mob Psycho, Sugoi, My Hero Academia is, for me, is a meh, only because some of it is brilliant. Like obviously I had the Endeavour fight in my fight video, some of it is amazing stuff, but then you also have Gentle Criminal and that whole, you know, UA idol rubbish, and it just dragged it down. But it's obviously an anime that I still want to keep watching, so it's obviously got something to it. So I'm just gonna put it in meh for the moment, and we'll see how the next season goes. If I move, let's have a look. A couple more. Obviously, Cowboy Bebop for me is an eh. Just because it took me so long to get into. Like I think I had to watch the first episode like 3 or 4 times before I got into it, and I know people hate me for that, but for me it just took a little bit long. It's great, don't get me wrong, but it's not like it's not the be all and end all of my life. Let's have a look. GB8 I want to watch. ReZero I fancy watching at some point, but I'm not going to move it up there. I want to watch the Moriarty one. The one about, you know, Sherlock Holmes's nemesis from a different perspective. I think that'll be really interesting to watch. Kill la Kill, I'm going to put as dropped. I was nearly going to put it as Barker. It's okay, it's just got a really kind of weird way of, I don't know, just a weird way. And for me, just the amount of stripping that's involved is just a bit like... But yeah, that's a series that I've dropped. I think I might leave it... Oh, have I already got that up there? If I haven't, oh no, I've got Vinland Saga in there twice because it's so good. I'm going to put it up there as well. We're going to leave it there. Right, so I will see you guys in the next video. I'm sorry if I waffled a bit, but it is called Anime Waffle. It is literally there in the title to warn you exactly what I'm going to be talking about. So in the next video, it'll be Jujutsu Kaisen, One Piece, Burn the Witch, Haikyuu, and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Diamond is Unbreakable. So until next time, remember before you leave actually to like, comment and subscribe, and I would really appreciate some shares as well if you can do that, if you can be bothered. Share it on Twitter, go on, I dare you, share it on Facebook, on the Book of Face. That would be amazing, okay? That's how these things get spread, word of mouth. But yeah, we're gonna leave it there and I will see you guys next time.